All right, so I'm going to do a quick offhand video of the storage unit that's included. It's a 14-foot wide, 14-foot tall, and it's 45 foot that way. And the back door on this storage unit is also a pull-through. So for the main camera, I'm going to do this so I can kill two birds with one stone as I'm walking through. And we'll also going to take a look at the custom workbench right there as well. So starting here on the right, we have an assortment of 3 propane tanks that come with the shop. 1, 2, 3, 4 gas cans and 1 diesel can, as you can see. Let me get zoomed out. There we go. So an assortment of safety cones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the short safety cones and 4 of the large ones. This rack right here is on wheels. It's going to have that Dynaglow heater, which plugs into propane if it's warm or cold and you need to warm something up. Some used shears and loppers, and that's the Corona loppers with the red handles, and some flags. And again, this shelf is mobile. Up top here, you can see that you get 100-foot Never Kink garden hose that has a lifetime warranty. Just call the company if it has any issues, and they'll send you a new one. 2 tool belts. That goes to the one of the vacuum systems. And then that aluminum bar goes with the extension ladder down here. And that extension ladder is a Warner, where is it? I can't remember. Let's see here. We'll have to flip it. There it is. So it's a Warner 225-pound, 24-foot extension ladder. And we'll do, while we're here, we have 6 pieces of 20-foot rebar for concrete work and a couple top rails for the galvanized fencing chain link. And then put that back down, making some noise. This ladder I'm going to throw in for free. I'm not charging anybody for it. A tree branch fell on it and it's kind of tweaked. It's a little hard to get to adjust, but it's never fallen on me, and I've used it, and I just didn't feel like buying a ladder. I mean, I had a bunch of other equipment to buy. So anyway, moving on. Back here, we've got 2 load chains, and then these are just 2 strapping chains that are 20 foot long. That's a Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Oops. We've used it for a couple jobs. The last job this was used for was painting the bottom of this green. So you can see here's the paint sprayer. And with that, I have a 50-foot hose plus the 25-foot hose and all the accessories on top of it and the owner's manuals. And then up here's the 50-foot hose and the power roller for it. So we'll put that back up, and that's only been used for a couple jobs. This is the clutch multifunction welder. I wrapped it up in Visqueen to move it, so I didn't have to worry about it. You'll have to look at the pictures to see it. But what we'll do real quick is just turn it on. That way I can show you that it works. And it is a combination. It's got a 240 volt plug, but then it has a 240 volt adapter to 120. So the lights up on the top here plug in back here. So we'll unplug them for a moment. Plug that in because I need to make sure it works. And we'll fire it on. Okay. So this welder allows you to adjust everything and change whatever you want, and it's all digital. You can go home. It's got all these features on it. Here, we'll let's see here. MIG steel, MIG stainless, MIG AI, MIG copper CUSI, I'm not for sure. And then MIG manual for old school, stick weld, lift TIG, and then it also does the aluminum, and it comes with a spool gun. I've got 2 of the welding hoods. I got a complete setup. Welding tank, or the carbon dioxide tank on the front. It's got the attachment for the stick and the leads for whatever you need there. And then down the side, I've got a whole bunch of welding wire, and that's all set up in a separate video. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the lights back on. There we go. So this does work. I literally bought this in May of this year. And the other thing too is up on the top is the box for it. So it was purchased from Northern Tool, comes with a 5-year warranty, and there's the box for the welder. So if you have any issues with it until 2025, it should be covered by Northern Tool. And so you can also see on the inside here, it's currently set up. I bought it just in case we needed to maintain any of our equipment. And here it is. So it's a whole setup. And then the last thing with that welder too is the metal table. We'll pull that out for a second. So the metal table comes out, and it's a fold top, just a mobile workbench for you that you can weld on, and that's for your torch when you get done with it. I just keep it under there to keep it nice and tucked in. There we go. So then after that, we've got an assortment of concrete tools. So let me go ahead and pull these concrete tools out. And we'll show these concrete tools off as we go. And this doesn't include that concrete saw. But we've got 2 floats. A mag trowel, a couple mortar pieces, 2 brooms for finishing, a groover, edgers, 2 of them for tuck work if you need it, a brush for coloring, so water and color powder only for this brush. I've got wire ties, tools, 3 of them, and then another trowel, plus the sponges, not to mention the rebar. And back here on this shelf, we have quite a lot of 4-inch high concrete forms, as well as plenty of grade stakes and grading lumber so you can set your concrete forms. We did one sidewalk project. It was a good experience, and then just ended up getting busy with other stuff, and then the year happened and we never continued. So for concrete, and a lifetime supply of, oh my gosh, those are heavy. Okay, a lifetime supply of concrete wire ties for your rebar formwork. I just ordered it because we were ordering a big supply run, and I didn't realize how many were in the bag until they gave it to me, and I only used like 30 of them. So, lifetime supply, I guess. Oh my gosh, unless you get real busy. So, that's that back there, concrete. What else do we have for concrete? The 2 wheelbarrows, which are for everything else. So, concrete, that has been covered, awesome. I'll go ahead and put this stuff up real quick. So again, 4 sponges, 3 wire tools, 2 edging trowels, 1 groover. You'll probably want a shallower one. We had to use a deeper one. 3 brushes. These are for the broom finish on sidewalks. You got 2 masonry trowels and 2 masonry tucks in different sizes, as you can see here. So a mag float for finishing concrete. This is a masonry tool, and you can use it for concrete touch-up. This is a square edge float. And these are all Marshalltown and Goldblatt and the name brand tools, so this isn't any of the cheap stuff. They all have, I think they're all got a warranty on them. I don't know, you'd have to check with the manufacturer, but we have all of our records from where we bought this stuff new. So we'll put those up. And then the other thing, if y'all are interested, the business is completely branded, and I set up a complete digital brand that's also transferable with additional payment, obviously. That's going to include your social media accounts, Google accounts, phone number, all the stuff that's on the trailer if you really want it. And I've got some clothing as well as some high-vis stuff like I'm wearing. Here's one of the shirts. This is a used one. I mean, we have used this, but it's printed and ready to go. And it's got our phone number on the back of it. So, but what happened with our business is, unfortunately, in June, my vice president medically retired. It was unforeseen, and things just got real hectic, and now we're in the middle of a relocation. So, all right, I've got that done. We'll move this little chair out of the way. It's nice to have a desk chair. We'll go ahead and pick up this camera. Now, I have a picture up of all the owner's manuals. But essentially, all of the owner's manuals for this equipment is in here. And there's a binder in there that's in the pictures. This is just the loose stuff that I have that didn't fit in the binder. So I have all of the owner's manuals, and then just some various odds and ends. A couple of those aluminum clipboards, some signage, and then on here we have the extra saw blades. So this is for the DeWalt 12-inch miter saw, the 10-inch table saw blades, and then the 14-inch cutoff wheel for the Echo concrete saw. We've got 4 hard hats. 3 of them are matched. Spare blades for the Honda commercial mowers, as well as the small engine, a couple spark plugs, a couple tune-up kits that I didn't have time to get to this year. Here, a mask. Heck, that's probably worth more than anything right there right now, is that mask. It's a N95. It got rained on, but everything's still sealed. So, and then here we have all of the various odds and ends, which are going to be some vacuums, some fire extinguishers, a couple coolers. This is the wire finder kit right here. And then I'm going to set this camera down for a second on my workbench, because this workbench is cool. And then this is the grade laser. So, real quick, just to show everything's working. It has a tripod. Hopefully the batteries are still good. Yay, it works. Okay, so see, you should see a red light somewhere on me. I'm going to turn it off, though, because I had to let it sit, because it auto levels. This is what's awesome about this one. Oh, hang on. There we go. Turned it off. Okay. It auto levels. So once you set it on your tripod, you don't have to have rocket scientists to use this. They just have to be able to understand what about 5 degrees of level is, and I've had it worse than that. So it's nice because you can have a crew member set it up, and you can do whatever else you need to do. All right, so it's going to auto level. I've also got some extra batteries in here. And we'll go ahead and get the grade rod set up. All right, so it spins. Not a very pleasant spot to keep it in, I guess, but oh well. And then you turn on your grade laser reader, and you find out where it's at, and you measure. So everything here works. Also, the unit comes with a remote control, so I bought the best one I could that had all the features, and it allows me to change it and move it, and now the batteries are dead. Here. I never really use the remote. Once you get it working on a job site, it's just an extra thing to fall out of your tool bag, but I'll throw this away. So if you can't tell, I just do these videos one take and try to go through everything. I have a technical track record before this business, so there we go. So it speeds it up. You can see it adjusts it there. If it gets shooken or something happens, you can readjust it with this one, and you'll have to read the owner's manual, which is in that stack of stuff. But pretty much, if you need to set a patio, within 1/8 of an inch and do it easily, this is your tool. Or if you need to do any drainage work and get your slope set up, you can also set this up into a slope reading. So, and it comes with the cases. It's a used tool. Like I said, I haven't had time to clean all this stuff the way that I wanted, but unfortunately, such is life sometimes. All right, that's that. And then last but not least is the wire finder right here, but I'm going to save that for the irrigation stuff. And we'll just set it over here. It's getting cold. Okay. So at this point, I've went over the shelf. Let's go ahead and finish up on the shelf here. We have some sprinkler, pipe glue, some marking paint. This paint here goes to the pergola that's stored behind that. It's the black and gray for it. We don't have as much gray as we do black. Some cleaner, a little spreader. Down here is just the maintenance items. I've got some brake cleaner and some carb cleaner. That's one of the oil filters for the Kawasaki engines. And I do use full synthetic oil in my engines. There you go, Mobile 1. And this is just a, you can see this is from the most recent oil change we did this season. So, and talking about oil changes, up on the top there, we have a pump, so you don't have to flip your mowers. Just pump it and take it to the local auto parts store and dispose of your used oil. I've got 3 things of bar and chain oil that go with the chainsaws, as well as the chainsaw box, which I have a picture of the stuff in here. And the chainsaw box is just where we carry with us whenever the chainsaws were getting used. It had all the parts. Used to have a chainsaw in it, but all the parts got too big. This is an empty storage box, unused rain poncho and high vis. So we set everything up in our uniforms with high vis. I also have some trash bags down there. This saw, which we'll go ahead and try that in a second. And then this is 2 rolls of copper solid strand wire for 2-zone or 2-wire irrigation systems. So I'm going to grab this saw and make sure it works. It hasn't ever been used all that much. Now all of my saws have fine finish blades on them, and I do have a couple other blade options over there, so I just like the fine finish. It leaves a nice edge, and I've never had an issue with it, so I roll with it. Granted, I'm sure there's probably somebody that may disagree with me, so oh well. But let's see here. Yep, this one works. And that's just a little small 10-inch blade. Keep it for a portable little miter saw. And then we'll go ahead and put that up right. I'm in the middle of organizing this. So. At this point, I want to show off my workbench, and so I'm going to go grab the main camera. And I am going to bring it up a little closer. And we're going to get this workbench in frame and get a little closer here into the shop. So, let's see here. So this workbench is a custom little project I did on my own. All of the tools on it were separate tools that we were carrying on a trailer. And when we were carrying them on the trailer, it was just getting annoying to have to always set them up, tear them down, and whatnot. So when I do fencing jobs, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's good enough. I should be okay with that. Okay, so when we do fencing jobs and whatever, it might be a little overkill, but it's the way I like to work. I'm very methodical and I like things to be nice. So I want to go over this real quick. It's pretty neat. It might be sticky because I haven't used it in a little while, but it slides. All 4 wheels lock. They're also the locking casters to where it won't rotate and pivot on itself. So it's actually stuck whenever you, there, see? You can push on it and work on it. Now, this is for the table saw. It allows you to get your measurements set in, and then you run a bar clamp here. I never could figure out quite the right system to get it engineered the way it was perfect, and time happened. But anyway, it works with a bar clamp, and you can set up your lock out here just like that and run it through. So it was a little bit of an engineering challenge, but I made it work. And then this table saw is a little sticky right here. I haven't had a chance to take it apart and lubricate, but it runs just like you need it to. A little bit of cedar from the last time I used it. That tasted good. And then we'll go ahead and drop that down so nobody gets their hands put together. Now, one cool thing about this is this top is completely changeable. I also built these tools, if you can see the extras, threading here for the bolts. You can change this top. If you don't like 3/4 inch plywood, change it to something more and then just raise your tools up. Now you're going to have a lot of cuts, but nonetheless you can still change it if you need to. So the other cool feature on this, I'm going to rotate it a little bit, is the miter saw. Now I can't go all the way around because of the cord, and I'm set up. But if you see the miter saws down here, and you have a nice flat workbench. I'll grab a piece of lumber just to demonstrate. So everything on this is pretty flat, and of course it's not a straight piece of lumber to save my life, but I can't be perfect either, so I guess. There we go. But you have that full workbench. Down here, if you need to trailer it, there's some locks. You just unspin your locks, boom, pop up your top, then it's not perfect because, like I said, it's homemade, but helps if I get my locks closed. There we go. But now it's flat again, and your tabletop is stored with the table instead of somewhere in the shop, and you can still work your machines if you need to drop your saw down for a second to cut something on the saw or the table saw. Anyway, lots to happen. As well, it locks down here for transport. Then you grab a hold of your saw. Oop. Hold on, it's cords. Oh. Boom. And then you lock your saw in place, like that. So the saw's up. And which side? Here. We'll go 0. And then you're ready to go. The lumber can hang over the sides there, like that. And then, here, just to show you, everything works. So, again, you have support on each side of the saw already for long pieces, which is great for 16-foot lumber that you're trying to true up an end on. And the other neat feature, too, is I don't necessarily like these. They say DeWalt on them, but they look like every other Asian brand. I heard a beep. I don't know what beep that was. Okay. So, anyway, but you can pull those sawhorses out whether the saw is up or down, which is nice. They come out, and you can set up those 2 sawhorses. And then the last thing on this bench over here is a router table. The router's adjustable as well. You can take it out, and it has a plunge base, so you can use it on the job site for any routing. So this really is more so a carpentry workbench, not as much a job site workbench after I got done with it, but it has tons of features. And the router, let's see, turn it on. Router runs as well. And on the router, if you noticed on top of the box, there was the box up there. That's the box that the router came in. And so I had started to install dust collection, but it got a little heavy and I stopped. So if you'd like to do dust collection, so be it. I've got a little vacuum for that. So we'll go ahead and close this up and finish on real quick. Okay. Let's grab this camera. Oh no. So on this side we have sprinkler components in each of these boxes. And then let me flip this where I can see what I'm doing. So each one of these boxes, this is full of 1-inch sprinkler components. Let me turn off spot focus. 1-inch sprinkler components. It's got the, or not components, the for the PVC. So 1-inch couplings and stuff. This one has got random fittings that were spread out through the trucks. This one has all the nozzles and tops for sprinklers, plus some bodies, including the bodies that were over there. Down here, if you're interested in doing shows, the green tape is a piece of linoleum that's 10 by 20. We had to use it for the Home and Garden show in 2020, but it didn't work out too well afterwards. We have a knack job box, 2 empty rolling storage for craftsmen, and then the coolest thing I got for you here is this box is all of the accessories and attachments that go to all these tools. So I didn't throw anything away. So if you hate that, you can fix it and put them back up however you want. So all of the attachments for the tools are in this box here. And then a couple of irrigation components and the concrete forms that we had over here. This is a show pergola. We've got pictures of it up. It's currently torn down. And this work table is 4x4 by 40 inches tall. We painted it gray to use it as a workbench during the show. And then there's 2 wheelbarrows back here. That bucket's got some of the chemicals in it. We don't have a whole lot. We've got a bunch of 5-gallon buckets down there. And then for the irrigation tools, let's see here, rebars, grade stakes, hand tools, and then we have an irrigation controller right here, an Armada Pro 48. And then we have the Armada wire finder that you can hook up and trace wires in the ground. And this just recently got back from service. We had a transmitter issue, so I haven't used it since. And oh, hey, they fixed that battery cover, so let's see, does this, yeah, see? Everything works there. And then we'll see power on. Oh, these batteries are dead. Okay. Well, and we don't have a circuit to complete either because it's not connected, so perfect. And that's our wire finder. So as you can see, this is quite a loaded out shop for a small business start or adding a route. And if there's any evidence, we just stopped operations in August, so we've got a deep freeze for ice and a mini fridge for snacks and Gatorade back here. So okay. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to take a minute and go over was the hand tool assortment that we have here. So you can see all the hand tools up there. Now, what's really neat is most of these are from Lowe's. The blue handles are Cobalt tools that come with a lifetime warranty. So what I'm going to do is kind of go over some of them. So the shovels and the stuff that gets abused, if you break one on a job site, you can run to a Lowe's and change it out. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4 push brooms, 1 deck brush, 1 squeegee, 3 hand brooms, a truck ice scraper, 2 spring rakes. We call it the little rake, but using different words. We have 1, 2, 3 pointed shovels, 3 flat shovels, 2 of the large landscaping rakes. Now the tines are kind of bent and I needed to change them out, but unfortunately, due to all of the stock issues in July and stuff when we were in operation, Lowe's didn't have the stuff. So you don't have to have a receipt. Just take it back and go get a new tool. We did it for a bunch of this stuff. Heck, we ran over a tool with the machine one day and got a brand new one. It's awesome. So anyway, but you got the 2 big rakes, the aluminum ones, 2 steel hard rakes, a weeding hoe, a flat hoe, a water key, 2 razor scrapers, 2 hot shot shovels or points or spades or whatever you call them, but these guys, 2 post hole diggers, an 8-inch tamper. You have 2 4-inch trenchers and 1 5-inch, a snow shovel and a pitchfork. Now, this one back here, unfortunately it's broken. You can see it's bent, but they didn't have any in stock when I was trying to exchange it. The pickaxe is also broken and needs to be exchanged. I could do that, I guess, but we just don't have all the time in the world with our relocation coming up. And then a T-post puller. Down here you have a handheld hatchet, a large axe, a small pointed shovel. Now, I'm not proud of this, but I'd use the little welder over there to make a hand tool for tightening tension wire on the bottom of a chain link fence, and it worked great. So, whatever. The hand tools are the best, and that goes in there. This is a chain link fence stretcher, 4-foot level, another broom, and 2 hatchets that we use for sod. They're not sharp at all. We just use it to chop a piece of sod in half. It was easier than trying to tear it. Anyway, for us. So, I think that pretty much covers the shop. We got it all situated now. There's a lot of stuff in here.